Hi, and welcome back. My name is Antonio Seri from CRRNTN.com. Continuing the series Hollywood movie title, today we realize the Green Hornet animation. In the first part in Cinema 4D, we will create and animate our logo, lights and materials. Then, in the second part in After Effects, we will create the background effects to complete our animation. Open the file Start. I recreated the logo of Green Hornet with 2D drawing tools. I imported in the background the reference image taken from a frame of original video. I arranged the layers in separate groups and structured to work well on the animation. We have, in the hierarchy, the group logo with inside two subgroups. One for the word "the" and the second for the words green and hornet. To get this result of the logo, I had to consider the inclination of the logo, made from the camera. There are several easy tricks to get the correct result. In this case, I applied the system of orthogonal projections. Okay, the first step of work is to apply the Extrude NURBS tool. Will be applied on the two groups of words with different settings. As we can see, the first extrude, on the word Green Hornet, has a depth of 200. And has been activated, the fillet cap, start and end, with radius 6, in step 5. This logo has a very evident bevel. While, for the word "the", has the same depth value. The parameters radius and step are 3, 5, and 1. The bevel is proportional to the size of the word. We proceed by inserting the camera. The coordinates are y, -550, and z, -1920. All other parameters are by default. With the rotation P of 15 degrees, we obtain inclinated view of the logo. This view allows us to visualize the depth of the extrusion of the lower part of the logo. As we can see, from the original video, we got correct camera viewing, with the inclination of the logo. View the result. The basic lighting system is not correct. We proceed by inserting the lights and materials. Open the file Materials and Lights system. Copy and import on our scene. In this project, we created a sky map with this material. I apply the channel of luminance, with a gradient, arranged vertically. The color green has these values. Disable the visibility, with the compositing tag. The lighting system has two lights, one on the upper right, that need to illuminate the bevels. With this position coordinates, but you can change them to get the result as you like. The left light is used to create the correct shadows on the logo. View the result. We apply the materials and we analyze in detail. The first material gives the basic colors of our logo. The values of the green color are 73, 128, and 107. Was added the gradient, in multiply mode, to obtain this position, on the logo. We also add a reflection with values, 3. Apply a texture Fresnel. The specular channel has the default values. On cap start and end, we applied a simple black material. For a correct disposition, on cap start, activate on selection, C1. For the bevel was applied a material, duplicated from that of the logo, with a lighter green color. And reflection at 17. The cap end is the same to the cap start, but with selection, C2. Most importantly, for the bevel material, you must activate on selection, R1, and R2. OK, view the result. Cool. The color of light has shades of light green, with value 176, 255, and 222. With shadows maps, active. You can change the parameters of the materials to get a result with more reflection, or whatever you like. The important thing is to keep the shades of green to do not change the final effect of this animation. We proceed with the parameters of the animation. The length of animated sequence is 65 frames. The three words have different movements during the first part, a stop and rotation in the middle, and a very fast at the end. As I mentioned before, the groups of layers must be separated in order to obtain this type of animation. To the group of the word the, was applied an interpolation of position and rotation between the frames 0 and 9. Follow on video the scheme. With the same principle, was applied the animation on the words, Green Hornet, but with different parameters. The only difference is that in the word, Hornet, was added a frame and half interpolation, to obtain this exact disposition. This animation sequence can be changed, at will with other parameters. These are the most similar to the original video. As you may have seen, the logo, in frame 9, has a horizontal tilt of 10 degrees. This parameter of interpolation, it has been made active, on the main group of the logo, by including x, 3, y, 50, and z, 150. This animation sequence is completed in the frame 58, with the values, x, 3, y and z, 36. Rotation p, to -5 degrees. This is the middle animation. Finally we have a fast fly out of the logo to the camera, with the following values, x, -325, y, -800, z, -2009, and p rotation, -30 degrees. So summarizing, we have a first part with rotation and position of the 3 words, a slow motion and rotation of the whole logo in middle animation, and finally a fly out to the camera very fast. It seems a very complex sequence, but to simplify the work, it is necessary to organize the layers group on the timeline. What makes the very interesting result is that the camera remains fixed throughout the sequence. The result is good. We can proceed with the final rendering of the logo. Activate the alpha channel. Anti-aliasing on best. You can apply the effects of global illumination and ambient occlusion to enhance the shadows between the letters. The final size of the video is 1900 and 800 pixel. OK, complete our project in After Effects. This is the rendered video of our logo. To complete our animation sequence in After Effects, I show you the 6 steps needed. First step. To obtain the basis effect of this animation, before applying the mask of the fractal noise, we must apply on a duplicate of the logo's video, and double glow effect. This halo around the logo is obtained with these parameters, 0 and 212 on radius. The composite is active on top. To emphasize the halo, duplicate the glow effect. And modify the thresh value to 23,5%, radius to 56, and intensity on 5,6. The color is not important. Second step. Activate a track matte, set on Luma mode, on a solid layer with applied a fractal noise effect. This fractal noise is a soft linear type, with the contrast to 44, and the scale value from 100 to 772. I applied an interpolation on parameters, sub-offset and evolution, to create and slow animation with horizontal movement. You can use these values, but you can experiment with other settings. Finally, with the tritone effect, I got an emerald green color, with 11, 120, and 90. The result of the two layers is fabulous. We continue with the third step. To achieve this lighter halo, I applied on a solid layer an oval mask. I created a sequence of interpolation on mask path parameter, which follows the logo, starting from 0 and is present in the frame 9. Is reduced from the frame 60 to 61. It's in add mode. The edges are soft, with the feather value to 185. To have this two-tone look, I applied the colorama effect, with this scheme in the circular gradient cycle. Obviously it is made transparent by the screen mode setting. The result of the animation now, it's very strange, but you will understand everything at the end of the steps. Now, in the fourth step, insert a lens flare. This layer is a duplicate of the final lens flare, but with modified parameters to fit to our purpose. Is perfectly positioned in the center of the scene. From frame 8, the brightness from 0 becomes 50, with scales to 120. The value remains constant until 61 frame. And it dissolves in the frame 62. To fix the center position, with position XY, I activated and fixed a target expression on center position. In this way, the lenticular reflect are fixed with the center of the lens flare in any part of the scene. This lens flare gives to our fractal noise a more professional look. To obtain this result, the layer has been set in lighten mode. But you can also use the add mode. View the result. Wow! All this with only one layer video. Great! Okay, in the fifth step, you need to optimize our logo on the base you just created. Then, to make colors brighter, I applied an exposure with value 0.9 and gamma to 0.8. To make more dynamic the effect of incoming and outgoing of the logo, I added an animated sequence with zoom blur effect, with a maximum value to 50. Obviously, follows the same sequence of 3D render, from 0 to 10. and from frame 58 to 63 to close. Don't forget, set anti-aliasing zoom blur on height for best results. View the result. Fantastic! Finally, in the sixth step, we see the application of lens flare for the revelation of the logo. I created this with the plug-in optical flares. Very interesting. Follow the scheme of animation on video. This is the final result. Wow! Very nice. We complete with the insert of the audio file, and proceed with the final rendering. This is the result of our animation. Very, very good. Okay, I remind you the next appointment for the tutorial on the movie titled Sherlock Holmes 2. Another animation incredible. I hope this tutorial has been to your liking. By Antonio Seri of CRRNTN.com. Cheers.